What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Clip Point. Today we got some really cool stuff to show you. But first, like, subscribe, ding the bell, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, guys, as you know, or noticed, hopefully, EKnives, and we got some cool coffee mugs they hooked us up with. What? So we basically went to a little road trip to Chattanooga, and we wanted to check out EKnives for ourselves. We had some great buying experience with them online. Love their support of veterans and LEO, and so we thought, gosh, let's go check them out. We'll do the long haul, and for those of you that follow us on Instagram, you saw some of the stuff that we have already, especially in stories.
Yeah.
And one of the cool things about it is they gave us some stuff to review. And what's I guess interesting for me is we think of them as the sort of the Grail or the OTF provider out there. They're one of the largest retailers for Microtech. I think they're in the top 5 for Microtech, which is pretty exciting.
They've got some really cool offerings as far as what we would consider a Grail knife, but I do think it's kind of overlooked, and you might not even know some of the stuff they carry.
Yeah, it's a great American story as well. A home-built business that grew and expanded due to the quality and the care that they give. And one of the things that just happened at EKnives is not only do they carry the Grail stuff, but they're getting into some user knives, right? Which some of us use our Grails, but Benchmade, they are now carrying Benchmade, and I bet for those of you who are into EKnives, know about EKnives, or maybe shop with EKnives, didn't know that they carry Benchmade, but they do. And today we are actually going to utilize the EKnives provided Benchmade to launch our video and talk about what a Benchmade Griptillian is all about. And I don't know, I can't help but say it, but why I love to hate this epic knife by which all knives are measured.
Yeah, I mean, a Griptillian's kind of the standard EDC knife, right? Like that's the knife that I feel like if you're gonna tell somebody like, hey, they don't really know a whole lot about knives, they want a good knife, not a cheap knife, made in US. The Griptillian's kind of the way to go. The mini grip. I mean, Benchmade in general kind of has a lot of knives like that, but I think these are like the flagship. Like, they're just like the EDC knife.
The sort of the flagship user. This is it's that crossover brand that has some cool Grail stuff, but has user stuff. So it actually is a budget knife.
Yeah. From
a not budget brand. So, but it's not a budget knife because it doesn't cost $50, right? You pay a little bit for it, but boy, do you get a lot.
Right, it's gonna last, but it's gonna work. It's a knife that you can really take it as far as you want. If you want to really customize it, that's the beauty of grips and Spyderco's too. Like it's one of those knives that so many people have that all these companies have made like third-party customization options. And
as an example of that right here, this is one of my personal mini grips, and I mean I've done all kinds of little stuff to it. I like to test things out, but I even reprofiled the grind to give it more of that kind of wild Bowie style look, and it started off life as this, right? And so this is applied weapons tech. And I basically rebuilt the knife, did some little grind work myself, and had some fun with it. Little different color backspacer.
Feels very Predator.
You're right.
Custom options.
It does. It does have a Predator feel to it, and I guess that's cool because I'm a kind of a fan of that. And even hammered, a kind of a non-thumb stud because with the Axis lock, you can fling it open and closed yourself without a thumb stud. So lots of options here, but you'll find that the user knives, the high-end user knives, are all customizable, whether it be a bug out or a Spyderco, Benchmade, pretty much all that stuff. When you get into some of their more wild things, the customization slows down.
Would you say it's safe to say that the Griptillian is kind of the Glock of the knife world?
Yeah, it is, and I am a Glock fan, so I'm a little bit, my hypocrisy knows no bounds.
Hypocrisy knows no bounds.
because I am a Glock fan, but when it comes to knives, I am not as much of a fan of a Glock knife. And this is the Glock of knives. And it's not from anything wrong with the knife. It just doesn't have the second kind of cool, as Nothing Fancy would say, like this Emerson does. And it just does things for me that, you know what, this is a function over form knife.
That's if you just want a knife that's going to work.
Yeah.
You don't care about what it looks like. You just want it to cut and, you know, not break. This is the knife for you.
Good grind. It came sharp from the factory, and the customization and the options are endless. I'm a fan of the practicality of this knife. But what's interesting is the fans of this knife, they get it too, because I've not been shy about talking about it on Instagram and saying, here's why I don't really care for this knife, is because it's a perfect user, but it doesn't do anything else for me. But it is a perfect knife, right? It is Spartan, and that was why I did the little Spartan lanyard, because it is a Spartan knife. There are no frills to this. It works every time. It is a tool to the nth degree, and I have a ton of respect for the Griptilian. It is a Hall of Fame knife, and if you don't have one in your collection, you should. But let's jump into
Ergos.
our Ergos. It's an EDC knife. It is made for that. It's Ergos, it's jimping, it's grip. It's a Griptilian, for crying out loud, and it lives up to the hype. It is exactly what it is. Its Ergos are really probably a 10.
Yeah,
for me.
I'm not going to give it a 10 for me, because I've definitely held some perfect 10s in my opinion. But this isn't bad. I'm going to go 8 for this, but even still, 8 is fantastic for Ergos. Man. Next is tactical.
Tactical. Sure. You know, it's the large Griptilian is large enough to be a tactical knife. It's over 3 inches, right? And you're not going to slip if your hand gets wet. It has jimping, and it's real jimping that actually works. You can tell, you can feel that. The texture on the handle, it has a palm swell, 3D palm swell. It swells up into your palm, it swells wide into your palm, and it swells on the bottom side into your palm. So every direction is designed to be gripped. Its draw is quick. There is no resistance to opening. Now, granted, you know, when you have an Emerson, it opens instantly. So it's, you know, going to have a different level. But I would give it probably, I'd give it an 8 out of 10 in tactical. I would give it pretty high because it is so ergonomic. It does open and close quick. The lock is, you're going to have to break something in the knife for the lock to fail. So for me, it's an 8 out of 10 for tactical. It actually is so EDC that it's pretty tactical as well. It's fast, deploys quickly, and you know, it has that militaristic look anyway, so it's kind of a tactical look as well.
Right. And even if you didn't want it to have a militaristic look, that's the nice thing about these, is you can literally make it whatever you want.
No doubt about it. Yeah, you can make it fruity colored if you want. They've got all kinds of stuff. Fruit Loops, you know?
Yeah. Yep. For me, just because of it being a folder, you know, there's no wave system. It's not automatic. You know, the thumb studs are fine. I'm going to go 7, actually. It is a tactical knife. It's not a tactical knife, but it can be a tactical knife. I'm just thinking about it in like the heat of the moment when you're having to, if you had gloves on, let's say, or even just the anxiety with that most people might feel, and adrenaline, you know, they might struggle to get that open quickly in a tactical situation. Whereas like an OTF, you know, it's got a trigger or a, you know, wave system type knife. You just pull it and it's open.
But its purpose is EDC.
Right. Its purpose is EDC, which says a lot about this knife.
For its crossover ability, because it is a heavy stock, right?
Right.
And so it's not flimsy. It's not going to break more than likely, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
So for an EDC knife to have such a high ergo and tactical And I mean, obviously, the other grades that we're going to give it are going to be pretty decent. That says a lot. So
Yep.
7 out of 10 for me.
Cool. What's the next category?
EDC.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
This is the EDC standard, period. There is no better EDC. That's not an opinion. Your opinion would be, do you like an EDC from a knife better? Sure. But is it better at EDC? No. You can get whatever blade shape you want. You can get thumb hole, thumb stud, right? You can get, different tonto, whatever your EDC wants to be. You've got, for an EDC task, which is a medium to large size knife that can handle food, box, potentially self-defense. I don't know what else. I mean, everything. Letter opening, a fine enough edge, a sharp enough tip.
And it's a strong enough blade too that if you had to do a little bit of chopping,
it doesn't matter. You could do that, right? You could. I mean, the axis lock is so strong and its design is so tough that it'll do pretty much anything you want to do. This is the perfect EDC knife. It is designed for that purpose.
You know how many Griptillians have been found like on seabeds in lakes, found on the road where people have lost them and people have picked them up and have carried them for years after finding them. It's just a great knife as far as how it's built. Obviously 10 out of 10.
And that one is S30V, which is nice. It's an excellent EDC steel. A lot of them have been 154. And so it's going to vary out there a little bit at what level you get. But that's the vintage of your knife.
Right. Well, that says a lot to the knife design. It's really, whatever you want out of a Griptilian, you're going to get.
And I guess for a great EDC platform, it kind of has to have some easy variability.
Right. And that axis lock for me, in my opinion, obviously there are so many variations of locking mechanisms and everybody's got their preference. But for an EDC knife that's built purely for EDC, it's hard to beat axis lock.
Yes,
it really is.
And it's also its fidgetability. That is a man's fidget.
For sure.
That's a man's fidget spinner right there. Period.
Let's get into cool factor.
2. It's a 2 out of 10 for me. This is the big holdup for me is I also want it to be cool, and that it has to do something for me.
Right.
And that's me. That's where I'm going to depart from some, right? And people are going to hate that I might say that, but this is not a cool knife. There's nothing cool about it to me. It's purely function. Quite frankly, my Glock, you know what? I dressed it up with like blue anodized stuff because it's not cool, and I wanted it to be cool. And look, I can make it cool, but I had to do that. But for me, it's not cool. It's 2 out of 10.
Yeah, that's fair.
Enough said for me on that.
I mean, just to not have the same grade as you, I'm going to go 3 out of 10. But I'm the same way, It's like when you go buy a sports car. You're not going to go buy a Camry necessarily for its fast looks.
Yes.
But you'll buy, say, just for instance, like a Maxima. Like a Maxima's got fast looks, or to get into it really, like Corvettes and stuff. Yeah. So, when you're comparing this to other knives that's out there, even like, I feel like we use this, we've not done a review on it and we use it all the time, but even like comparing it to this SOG Kiku here. Like, when you're comparing, like this has like, all kinds of like divots and it's just cool. Yeah. Me personally, I just don't love it. Now, granted, if I had one, I would keep it. It's there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
It's just, for me, I'm a very visual person. I know Greg is as well. And the shelf appeal just doesn't, it's just not there for me.
Exactly. And when you do, this is something that does one thing really well and better than pretty much everything out there, and that is EDC.
Right.
And when you do that and you go extreme in one category, it's a double-edged sword. Anything you do extreme is always going to have a price. The bigger, stronger you are, the slower, less agile you are, right? You can't get away from it. And so, yeah, it drops cool factor, but let's get to the overall. So overall for me, gonna be it is the overall time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah.
You know what? I have so much respect for this knife. It's overall for me is really going to be probably higher than you think. But I'm really leaning toward, for me, a 7 out of 10 on it, which is a very good knife, and one that I would own a 7 out of 10. And quite frankly, I do own 3.
Yeah.
And I
That's
don't.
interesting that you say 7.
Yeah, because it's a respect factor. It's an American brand that designed something with Mel Pardue, who I love Mel Pardue designs, and it is so functional that I have tremendous respect for it.
That's the thing, right? Like, that's why it loses the cool factor, I think, because they spent more time making a functional knife than a cool knife.
Yep.
And a lot of times you get companies out there that make cool knives that are not quite functional.
Yeah.
You know, they're so cool that they've got to lose quality by getting it made, you know, maybe overseas somewhere or something, just to save on money because it's so cool with, you know, the materials used and everything.
Yeah, and all the milling and different things that cost
This
money.
is a knife.
It's a plastic handled S30V axis lock. How, you know,
this is just a knife that's made to be used. It's not made to look pretty. It's not a safe queen. It's made to be in your pocket and get beat up.
That's right, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah, so I think 7 out of 10 is good. I was actually thinking 8 out of 10 is where you were going to go with it.
I was tempted. I'm right there on that line, but because I do drift so heavily in what I carry, I want to enjoy it,
right?
And I like to look at it. It's just
in buying a knife,
it's just what I like.
You know, with really any knife, you're spending money to buy a knife, right? And once you get over, I say, the budget knife threshold, which would be like, you know, $50 or $60, you know, it becomes a small investment to some people, and you want to like what you buy, right? Like, if you had the opportunity to buy,
it's an XL F-150 with an EcoBoost engine,
right? So
I would never, if I could help it, buy an XL F-150. I would buy, you know, the XL, if I had to buy an XL, with the STX package, right? I want the black wheels and the black bumper and the black grille.
Well, everybody wants the cool.
But that's what I would, well, you say that, but there's a lot of XLs out there running too, and people enjoy those trucks and will just live and die by them, but it's kind of the same ilk here.
It's a truck, right? Yeah. And that's a lot of people's mindset. Like, I just want something that works. I don't necessarily need all the bells and whistles. Yeah. I just want something that works, and that's what you're going to get with the Griptilian.
I just want some shine too, that's all.
Right. But you can always make it what you want it.
You can. There are companies out there that you can do what you want with it. It's a cool platform, which frankly is one of the reasons why I got the Benchmades, was so that I could play around with them. And if I screwed it up, I hope my feelings didn't get hurt.
Guys, the nice thing about Benchmades in general, and really just about anything Benchmade carries, you can find it at EKnives. EKnives.com. Guys,
so cool.
They have
do that.
Literally, like, some of the coolest knives. And I'm not just saying that because this video is sponsored by them, but honestly, like, I'm a fan of EKnives. They've got some really hard to find knives. They've got
we're fans of them beforehand.
Yeah.
And then went down there and became even bigger fans.
Yeah.
We know that your interaction with them is going to be strong. And one of the really, really nice things is when you engage with us on Instagram, when you engage with us on YouTube, it always pays to interact with us because we're developing relationships with big companies, small companies, big brands, small brands. Mm-hmm. And when we go, I have no shame in my game. And I ask for swag. And when I get swag, it's to give it away to you. And here's a couple of examples, some guys that interacted with us.
Yeah, you know, we went down to EKnives and we were posting stories and we asked, you know, about what you guys wanted us to pick up and, you know, just things like that. And a few people reached out and we were able to kind of, you know, like, we got a cool sticker to send and we got another cool sticker to send. And, you know, that's all things because you guys interacted with us. We're interacting with them. We want them to know that, you know, you guys are fans just like we are.
Yeah. It fits our purpose. You know, we come away with cool bags full of swag and we're going to do, you know, sort of content ideas. And one of the sort of content interaction ideas we want from you is share your comments about what you think about my controversial review of the Griptilian. Maybe something he said you didn't agree with, or maybe you did. Share below. We're going to
Yeah.
pick out the top comment, and we're going to reach out to you, and you're going to get this really cool EDC pouch. Molon Labe on the back, EKnives on the front, made in USA, snap button, microfiber line. This is such a cool bit of kit that they gave us, and I was really excited about that. And it's made by Dragon Cut Designs. So some of you guys are familiar with that company.
It's a cool little cozy home for your grail knife.
It is.
It's a cool little pouch. It really is. And they were so great, you know. And you guys interacting with us, and you know, hopefully you guys will go and search out EKnives. They're on Instagram. They're on YouTube. Interact with them. It's just, you know, you scratch our backs, we'll scratch yours, and we're not afraid to go and grab you guys stickers and things, you know, if we can.
You're gonna enjoy your experience with them. And on your next grill knife, if you mention the clip point, you're gonna get 2-day shipping. Really excited about that. Just tell them that we sent you.
Yeah, it's great. They offer, and it's not really well known. They offer some really cool things like shipping.
And what they said to us was so awesome because they're in tune with how we feel, because they feel it. And if you go to Coco's Instagram, you'll see one of her grail knives, her favorite, and it is a custom-made red micarta with Damascus Tonto, and it is unbelievable. But she said when you order your knife, you want it now. And she does 2-day shipping. She was telling us, you know how much it costs to do 2-day shipping to Hawaii?
Yeah, it don't matter for them.
But they do. To
Because,
California,
right.
we do. You order, no matter where you are in the U.S., you're getting 2-day shipping. Because, and that is a community thing. They didn't even advertise. I'm like, guys, you're missing out.
Yeah.
We are going to tell people if you'll let us, and they did. So,
Yeah.
well, sure, share it. But we just did it because it's our passion, and we know it's yours, and we want you to get your knife sooner because we're as excited for you as you are about getting the knife. And that really spoke to us, and I think that's a nice thing about EKnives.
Yeah.
We're really excited they, you know,
especially when you're going and you're buying like a knife that's, you know, 200 plus or 150 plus, like you want that knife, like you really do. I mean, you want any knife you buy, right?
And it comes UPS as well. They were passionate about that, the quality that UPS has in delivery. So,
which speaks to, you know, they're protecting what you just purchased. Like they're using the best possible shipping platform they can to make sure your investment is protected, and that speaks volumes to me as a knife guy.
There you go. Cool. So that's it. That's what we have. And you know, comment below and tell us what you think. We'll pick out the top comment and get some sweet swag.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys, always, thanks for watching. Make sure you guys check out EKnives, YouTube, Instagram. Check out their website. You know, go buy a knife from them. Let them know the clip point sent you.
The clip point sent you.
And we'll see you on the next one. Stay sharp.
Stay sharp.